Hey guys, what is going on? So it's Meaty here. If you are new here to my channel, I am a 3rd grade teacher, and today I'm going to be talking about my experience with remote teaching so far and some tips and resources for you guys as well. I know it's a little bit overwhelming, or actually really overwhelming right now, trying to adjust because of the whole COVID-19 and the school shutting down and everything. So I hope this video helps you guys out. If it does, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe down below if you are new here. Okay, so first of all, I wanted to talk to you guys about a little bit of what I experienced this week as a teacher, teaching remotely. This is the second week that I have been teaching from home, and it's honestly been crazy, to say the least. It's been a lot harder than I anticipated, a lot harder than I thought, and there's so much work that has to be done that has to go into remote teaching. Remote teaching is crazy, you guys. In order for you guys to make it work, you have to have a routine. You can't just expect to just like roll out of bed at whatever time you wake up and then be okay with starting you know, your teaching or whatever right after you get out of bed at whatever time of the day. Like, it has to be something that you set in stone, a schedule that you plan out for yourself, where you say, okay, I'm gonna wake up at this time of the day, I'm gonna talk to my students at this time of the day, and you just have to be organized, because if you're not organized, you're gonna find yourself spending way too long working. And obviously you are working from home, but you're not supposed to be overworked. Oops, a bag just fell out of my closet. But anyways, what I was saying is you don't want to overwork yourself, and you can get easily burnt if you don't set up a set schedule for yourself and for your students as well. So what I found that has helped me is waking up early. Now I don't wake up super early. Obviously, I still get to sleep in quite a bit, you know, because I don't have to drive 30 minutes to work, and I don't have to get ready and everything like that. So that part has been really nice, but I do try to wake up at least by 8:30, and then every single morning I do have a Zoom meeting with my students. So if you guys don't know what Zoom is like a platform where you can video chat with multiple people at once. So I literally can have my whole classroom, and I can see all of their faces in gallery view, which is crazy, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Although Zoom, I have found, is not as user-friendly toward little kids. So make sure that if you are using Zoom in your classroom, at home, if you are using Zoom at home, make sure that one, you are maybe telling your kids about it, maybe showing them a tutorial before they start, or telling parents, letting them know, like, hey, just to give you a heads up, this is kind of hard to get into. It's not very kid-friendly, so can you explain it to your child, something like that. Personally, what worked for me is I made a little tutorial, and then I uploaded it to Google Classroom. So that's what works for me. But other than it being not as kid-friendly, it's been great. You can mute your students, or each individual students, if you would like. You can even share your screen, which is super awesome. You can share your screen with your students to whatever is on your like desktop, so like or to whatever is on your main screen. So if I am on Google and I have a PDF file, my students can see that, and I can explain like homework, or I can do a lesson, and that is super handy. So I definitely encourage you guys to use Zoom, because it just makes everything so much easier. Now, with that being said, I do believe that your students miss you. They want to be in class, and it's hard if they don't see your face consistently through remote learning. So I think something really important to do while you are teaching from home is that you are connecting with your students. So for me, what I like to do is I like to host Zoom meetings with my students at least once a week. So every Monday I'm doing a meeting at 10:45 a.m. and that's because I have other meetings beforehand, so I can't do it earlier. But by 10:45 a.m. students have already started their work on whatever assignments we have for that week. So they they kind of have a little bit of sense of like, oh, okay, I need help with this, or we need to talk about this, I need to ask her a question about this, so on and so forth. And that has been pretty nice. Aside from that, I've also been doing a Zoom meeting for those students who need help with their math work. Like what I like to do is I like to invite them to join at 9 o'clock, and then by that time there's like 3 or 4 students who need help. If anyone else wants to join in, they go ahead and do it. But honestly, that has been working out pretty good for me, and I like that I can still help them one-on-one. And usually the students that get on there at 9 are the students that actually like really need guidance, so I'm really happy about that, because at least I can still work with those students. And then it's optional, you know. There are some students that just want to stick around just because they think it's fun, but I'm sure they'll get bored of it eventually. Something else that I have been using religiously is Google Classroom. So my district is using Google Classroom, I think across the board. Like I think some teachers have different platforms that they like to use for remote teaching, but for the most part we're all using Google Classroom. So that is where I'm uploading all of my assignments, all of my quizzes, all of the videos, everything that I need for them to do. I am uploading it there. Again, Google Classroom is not like as kid friendly. Well, okay, it is kid friendly, but I definitely didn't get to like explain to my students beforehand like how to work Google Classroom. I feel like if we were all in the classroom and I got to explain step by step like how to work Google Classroom, that would have been easier for them. But it's been a little hard. We have used Google Classroom before in my classroom, but not to that extent to where I have them turn all of their assignments in and I upload files, and then you know what I mean. So that part has been a little tough for them, but they are definitely getting used to it. But you guys, something that I suggest you guys do is to make it more kid friendly and more like fun, is to just personalize your Google Classroom. So something fun that you can do to personalize your Google Classroom and make it more fun, you can actually change the theme of each class, or you can also change the header of like the banner in the back. The cool thing about it, guys, is that if you go to canva.com, you can look for banners. And when you go on Canva, there's different templates that you can use, or you can create your own. Now, my favorite part about this is that you can actually connect your Bitmoji to Canva, and then you can use your Bitmoji. So your Bitmoji is, I don't know if you guys know, if everyone knows what a Bitmoji is, but it's pretty much just like a cartoon of yourself. Like you can connect it, I think through Snapchat is the way to do it. But anyways, that has been working for me, and it's just a way to have my classroom more personalized and a little more fun for my students, because they are 8-year-olds. They like colorful things and things that draw their attention, so I thought that would be fun. Another thing that I am doing is I am making a class specifically just for conversations and resources. So in this class, I literally just post conversations that my students and I can have one-on-one, or I think last week I posted something like, what is your favorite food? And then they all commented. We're kind of treating it like a Facebook profile, if you will, where they can add a comment, and then they can comment on someone else's post. A student can make a post if they want, or I can have it just to be me making posts. So anyways, that has been fun. And there in the conversations and resources classroom, I've also added a lot of fun resources for kids, and I will link all of those down below, because you guys, there is so many resources out there for kids to just enjoy with technology. And like for example, there's one, it's like a San Diego Zoo, where you can literally go on there, learn about any of the animals there at the zoo, and you can watch live cams, which is super exciting, and my kids love that. And yeah, so I highly encourage you to check that out, and all of the other ones that I have in the links in the description box below. I think there's Prodigy, there's Math Playground, there's Mystery Science, Go Noodle, so on and so forth. The list goes on, so go ahead and check that out. So with the whole remote learning, I believe that it's really important to communicate with parents constantly, because parents are going to have a bunch of questions. They're going to need a lot of guidance, just like your students, or more, because they have no idea what is going on, literally. So for me, something that has worked is the Classroom app, which is an awesome app where I can just add all of the parents. They're not gonna know my number, I'm not gonna know their numbers. I just add all of the parents, I send them an invitation via email, and then they accept my invitation, and then I can have them there. I can also treat it like a Facebook profile, but I'm not gonna go into it in depth because I'll talk about it later. But that is Classroom with a K, and I will link that down below as well. I have in the past used the Remind app, and I still have it downloaded on my phone, and I still do talk to parents here and there with the Remind app, but there is not as many features as the Classroom app has. So I believe that communication with parents is seriously so important, especially right now at these times, because you have to encourage students. They are not used to learning from home, and therefore they're not going to be as motivated. So you have to encourage students through their parents, and you have to check on them once in a while or almost every single day. And I found that parent communication was like overwhelming for me the first week. Like literally I was getting messages all day long from parents just asking me questions, and I understand, and I honestly, like, I'm not mad about it, but it's definitely not something that I was expecting. If I didn't have the Classroom app, I think that I would go nuts because my phone would just be blowing up like 24/7. And so I'm really thankful that I can have that app to talk to all of my parents if I need to, or to send an announcement to all of my parents with just one button. Okay, now we are moving on to the tips part of this video, and I wanted to give you guys some tips on how to make your remote teaching a little more, I guess, intentional. So for me, I think, guys, that like I said before earlier in this video, I think that kids want to see your face. They want you present, and so it's really important. So if you are teaching a lesson, like they want to see your face. They want you to explain it to them through a video. And so what I've done is I've sat down and made videos of myself explaining something, or tutorials explaining something, and that has really helped. Something that I really like to do is I like to do the read out louds in front of a camera. I like to record myself, even though it doesn't feel as comfortable. I do like to do it just because that's what I did in the classroom, and that's what my students like to see. I did try to do a few videos of me just talking, like no, like not sitting in front of a camera, just the audio, and I feel like kids weren't as engaged in that as I wanted them to be. So, but when I started to just sit down in front of a camera and read to them, I think they were just more engaged, and they were excited. They were excited to see me, and it was part of our routine when we were in school back in the normal days. So I appreciate doing that, and they appreciate it too. So I would encourage you guys to try to be in front of the camera, try to be present virtually with your students as much as possible, because I'm sure they're gonna appreciate that, you guys. And then another thing is to make it fun. This whole like virtual remote teaching is just that it's very overwhelming, but just try to make it fun. I like to find ways to you know, to ask my students, like I said earlier, like what's your favorite food, or what is something that you've been enjoying over the quarantine, or something like that I find to be helpful. When I do talk to my students through the Zoom video chat, I do like to ask my students first if they have a good thing to share. And actually, I don't really make it optional. I say, okay, let's all start with a good thing. And it does take a little while, but I think it makes us start on the right foot, and it just starts the week off right. The next tip that I want to touch on is the workload. You guys, I have found that my students were so overwhelmed the first week when we started, because obviously it was new for them, it was new for me, and so with all of the assignments that I gave them, they just kind of either did half effort on the assignments, or they like didn't even turn them in at all. And so I would say start with a low workload, and then increase from there, like week by week, if you feel like they are more comfortable with it. And just like mess with it. Like, I wasn't sure how many hours of work I should give my students in a day, and honestly I started pretty low. Like, the first week was pretty low, but they were still overwhelmed. This week I give a little bit more, but I'm not having something due each day. Like, I'm having everything due at the end of the week, and I find that that helps students more, because some students can't really get to it until Tuesday or Wednesday, you know. And yeah, I think that helps a lot. But definitely be intentional with the time that you want your students to be online doing all of your assignments, and also keep in mind that they are little kids, you know. Like, you can't expect them to be in front of a screen for such a long time. It's not healthy for them, it's not healthy for you, and it's not going to help them in the long run. So just keep that in mind. So now I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about my experience so far during these 2 weeks. It has definitely been difficult. I'm not gonna lie. It's been harder than I expected it to be. I work a lot. I find myself like constantly working, constantly uploading assignments. And honestly, this week I've been like planning day by day, like what I'm gonna post, because it's really hard to plan ahead. And I have found that it's better to just set a schedule of the next few weeks, because honestly, we don't know how long we're gonna be doing remote learning for. It might be until the end of April, it might be until the end of the school year, sadly. And so yeah, I think finding a schedule to work that works with you, and just to make sure that you are not working at all of the hours of the day, because you obviously deserve to have some free time, and you obviously need to practice self-care as well. So whenever you are practicing self-care, make sure that you are relaxed, make sure you are doing what you love, staying active. Something that has helped me is just working out every single day. And even if I just do a little bike ride or something, or you know, play volleyball with my roommates, something like that, like something as small as that, just try not to be indoors too long, because you will go crazy. And that's what I have found, you guys. I am going crazy. I am not a homebody at all, and I just can't wait for this to end, to be honest. And another thing too, I know that some teachers are not, they're not in one-to-one, or they don't have a one-to-one school district where like there's one iPad per student or one Chromebook per student. And I know that's hard, you guys. I would just encourage you guys to just find resources out there, find tutorials, find videos. Like I have searched on the web like for hours and hours and hours on how to make this work better, how to work smarter, not harder, because obviously you don't want that. And there's so many resources out there, so you guys, I encourage you guys to look for them. Okay, so the sun is going down on me all of a sudden, but like I said, you guys, I'm gonna be linking all of those resources that I have for you guys down in the description box. Make sure you check those out. And yeah, honestly, praise God, thank you Jesus for technology, because if we were in the year like 2000, I don't know what we would do with this pandemic going on. Like, I don't know how I could possibly be teaching online to a bunch of third graders with the pandemic. Like, I can't even fathom that. So I am really thankful for that. But with technology comes a lot of learning and a lot of trial and error. So, but we're gonna get there. Something that really inspires me is just seeing a bunch of teachers going out there and learning a bunch of resources, being educating themselves on a lot of resources and a lot of cool things for their kids. I think that parents, like, having to be at home with their kids and actually seeing like what they do and what their teachers do, I think gives them a bigger appreciation for teachers. And I feel it makes me feel so good, because, and I'm not just talking about myself, I'm talking about all of those educators out there that are going through this and that are really having to figure everything out. And it's not easy, you guys, especially for those schools who don't have the technology like my school has. Like, I'm just so blessed. But even then, if this pandemic had to happen, I feel like this was the right time for it to happen, honestly. And I do hope that it gets better. I hope that you guys are encouraged by this video, and I hope that it helped you guys in some way. I love you guys so much, and thank you for your continuous support. I just reached 14,000 subscribers, and it's crazy, you guys. I also, sorry, my phone keeps getting blown up. I also started my YouTube channel exactly 1 year ago yesterday. So wow, it's just been a great journey. So anyways, I think I'm rambling and I need to stop this video, but I will see you guys next time. I hope you enjoy. Again, don't forget to check the description box because there's going to be a lot of goodies for you guys there. Until next time, and I will see you guys later. Bye. Love you guys.
When it feels like I've been fading to the background, don't leave my room for like a week, don't wanna go out. But all these moments keep reminding me of just how you can't have the highs without the letdowns.